Most people have only seen tornadoes in Hollywood movies, but the reality is that every year, around 65% of all tornadoes occur in the United States. How are tornadoes formed, and how dangerous can they be? What is the difference between a tornado, a hurricane, a typhoon, and a cyclone? And why does this small part of the USA experience the most tornadoes in the world? Welcome back to another video from Zim Voice. A tornado is described as a spinning tunnel of clouds that extends from the sky down to the ground. Most tornadoes are weak, but some are so powerful they destroy everything in their path. If we look at the world map, tornadoes are found on every continent except Antarctica. Some are weak, and some are seen in very powerful forms. Each year, about 2,000 tornadoes are recorded globally. 1,300 of them in the USA alone. And these are more dangerous than tornadoes in other parts of the world. There is even a specific area in the US that produces about 800 tornadoes per year. This area includes Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, and it's known as Tornado Alley. This region has the perfect conditions for tornado formation. But before we understand why Tornado Alley produces the most tornadoes, we need to understand how a tornado forms. Tornadoes usually form during thunderstorms, especially a special type called a supercell. If you look at pictures of tornadoes, they almost always include a supercell cloud. Supercells are formed when winds at the ground level blow in one direction and upper level winds blow in a different direction. This difference creates a wind tunnel where air spins in a circular pattern. Initially, this wind tunnel is horizontal and harmless, but if it is above an area where water vapor from evaporation is rising, the warm vapors push this wind tunnel from horizontal to vertical. Once the tunnel turns vertical, the situation changes entirely. It becomes a spinning supercell thunderstorm. As more vapors rise from the ground, they make the supercell grow larger. The spinning air forms a funnel-shaped cloud called a funnel cloud. Some supercells produce multiple funnel clouds. If the cycle of rising vapors continues and the temperature inside the funnel cloud drops, the water vapors condense into droplets. The weight of these droplets pulls the funnel cloud to the ground. At this point, it's no longer just a funnel cloud. It becomes a twister or tornado. Inside a tornado, wind speeds can reach up to 480 kilometers per h, 300 miles per hour, enough to rip through streetlights, signboards, trees, windows, and even the roofs of houses. These winds are strong enough to lift people, animals, and even vehicles, throwing them far away. As a tornado moves, it carries debris along and scatters destruction across its path. In Tornado Alley, all the conditions necessary for tornadoes come together easily. Warm, humid winds from the Gulf of Mexico travel northward, while cold, dry winds from the Pacific Ocean and Gulf of California travel eastward over mountains, becoming high and cold. When these two winds intersect, a wind tunnel forms. The warm, moist air from the Gulf rises and turns the tunnel vertical, making supercell formation easier. Once formed, these supercells can grow as more water vapor rises. Now, it's not guaranteed that every supercell will produce a tornado. Often heavy rain or hail starts, which cools the rising vapors and breaks the supercell cycle. But in Tornado Alley, strong westward winds prevent rainfall from falling, so the evaporation process continues, allowing the supercell to grow and eventually form tornadoes. That's why Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, the core of Tornado Alley, see the most tornadoes in the world, about 800 per year. But now let's talk about another type of storm: hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones. What's the difference between them? Actually, these are all tropical storms, and they are essentially the same phenomenon, just with different names depending on where they occur. In the Northwest Pacific Ocean, near Japan, South Korea, and East Russia, these storms are called typhoons. In the Indian Ocean, they are called cyclones. In the North Atlantic or Eastern Pacific, they are called hurricanes. These storms are very similar to each other, but when we compare them to tornadoes, there are big differences. The biggest difference is in size. A hurricane can span up to 1,600 kilometers, 1,000 miles wide. A large tornado usually spans just 2 kilometers, 1.25 miles. Despite being smaller, tornadoes can be just as destructive. A Category 5 hurricane has winds up to 250 kilometers per h, but some tornadoes have been recorded with speeds over 480 kilometers per h, almost twice as fast. Another key difference is prediction. Hurricanes can be predicted 36 hours in advance. Tornadoes, on average, are predicted only 13 minutes before they strike. That's why tornadoes often hit suddenly and unexpectedly. One such event happened in 1999 at 6:02 p.m. when a tornado struck Oklahoma City. It started as a Category 4 tornado and grew into a Category 5. It wreaked havoc for 85 minutes, caused $1 billion in damages, and took 36 lives. This is known as the Bridge Creek Moore tornado, one of the most powerful ever recorded. That same day, 71 tornadoes hit different parts of Tornado Alley across 5 states. Another unusual sighting occurred on November 25, 2018, near Koh Lipa Island in Thailand, where tourists saw not one, not two, but 4 tornadoes touching the water simultaneously. While tornadoes over water aren't as powerful, they can still capsize boats and cause destruction. The footage showed the tornadoes lifting water high into the air, demonstrating their force. While we cannot stop these storms, we can reduce the damage they cause. Weather satellites help meteorological departments monitor storm formation every 5 minutes. Data like storm direction, speed, and intensity are gathered and used to issue alerts in advance. We hope you like and share this Zim Voice video. Thank you so much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.